Commissioner, thank you for joining us. Mr. McGuire, thanks very much. I'd just like to take a moment to address Monday's committee meeting. We had a different commissioner here. We had the commissioner of the RCMP to address a serious issue. And before the meeting got underway, we had the Liberal Vice Chair move to adjourn the meeting. It was an incredibly important topic when we had the commissioner of the RCMP to address concerns that were raised in media last week with respect to the Prime Minister's SNC-Lavalin scandal. This is where the Prime Minister was found guilty of breaking Canada's ethics laws.
Mr. Barrett,
and
I'm just going to ask you, we've got Mr. Dufresne here.
Yep.
If you want to keep it relevant, please.
Yep, thanks very much, Chair. We have a Prime Minister who broke Canada's ethics laws, and the RCMP requested documents, and the Prime Minister used cabinet confidentiality to obstruct the release of those documents. So this is an issue that we're going to have to revisit at this committee. And it's of high importance to Canadians that they're able to have confidence in their democratic institutions, and no one is above the law, including the Prime Minister. With that said, Mr. Dufresne, I appreciate your opening comments, and particularly with respect to the Crown Corporation Canada Post. I think all Canadians expect them to follow the Privacy Act. And I am heartened that following your investigation into Home Depot that they complied with your instruction. And while I understand that Canada Post is reviewing the situation, I think it's very clear that they should also comply with your instruction. Have there been instances in Canada of people's data being scraped and collected by foreign governments for nefarious purposes that you've been made aware of?
We have issued some investigations, one involving Clearview AI, where you had an organization that was scraping the images of Canadians online, creating what was described as almost a permanent lineup of facial identification. So we found that this was a violation of the privacy legislation and made recommendations to the organization. The organization ultimately decided to depart Canada. So that was a high-profile instance where there was a concern. We are continuing to monitor this situation with international colleagues. We have recently issued a statement on data scraping and calling upon social media organizations to take steps to protect the information, to inform, to have some measures. We also highlighted some steps that individuals can take as well. So it is something that certainly we are focused on.
Is it a reasonable concern of Canadians that their personal information or biometric data could be taken from social media platforms and then used by foreign state actors, hostile foreign governments, to perpetrate intimidation on diaspora communities from those countries? And I want to be specific. There are concerns that are well known about the national security law that was passed by the dictatorship in Beijing that is germane to the company ByteDance, which owns TikTok. So this is an issue, a very popular social media app, and people are concerned about the risks to their privacy and personal information. We've seen governments suspend the use of this app on government devices. How concerned should people be about using this app on their personal devices, or their children using it on their personal devices?
Well, two things, Mr. Brett. In our statement on data scraping, which is dated August 24th, 2023, we talk about some of the risks, some of the privacy risks in terms of data scraping, and some of them include targeted cyber attacks, identity fraud, monitoring, profiling, and surveilling individuals, unauthorized political or intelligence gathering purposes, or unwanted direct marketing or spam. So there are a number of risks, which is why we are calling on social media companies and indeed all organizations to respect privacy obligations. And we set out a number of ways in terms of risk mitigation techniques that social media companies can and should take to protect that information from bad actors that would scrape the information. So we all